relationships. But we wanted to make this session a little bit interactive as well. So we have a colleague of ours who's been out on the floor asking our visitors here at the forum some questions. Let's see if we can connect with her now. Are you there?
Hi everyone, my name is Romina and I'm out here asking our visitors for their opinion on some of today's hot topics. I bet you're curious about their responses. I am. But Luis, everyone's excited for the keynote to start. So back to you.
Thank you very much, Romina. We'll be back with you a little bit later on to find out what the visitors out on the floor are having to say about some of the questions we're posing here on this very stage. And we're going to be posing questions to you out there as well. That's another way that we want to make this very interactive. As you came in, you were given a card which has got green and red on both sides of it. Please keep that very handy, because that's going to be how you'll answer the questions that we'll put to you throughout this next session. First of all, though, I'd like to ask our panel to come out on stage. So please join me in welcoming Will from Microsoft, Alex from NetApp, Jennifer from Intel, and Sammy from Nutanix. Leading the discussion is Fleur from Fujitsu. Thanks to all of you for being here. Now, we are going to hear from the panel as we go on throughout this session. But Fleur, as you're here with me right now, would you like to give everybody your point of view on this topic?
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our second keynote. Today it's all around how we build that trusted ecosystem. Some of you hopefully were here last year, and you'll remember we talked about how the responsibilities and the roles of partnerships and ecosystems was evolving. We're taking that to the next stage now to understand how we can unlock business and social value by building really strong, trusted partnerships. We all know, we heard earlier, that trust is very hard to gain, but so easy to lose. You know, we're all in a world now where we think nothing about clicking accept on those consumer T's and C's that we see, and trusting that organizations like ourselves are going to do the right thing by us. Making sure that we protect their data, that we're building services without unconscious bias within them, and delivering applications and further services to our customers that don't have any gaps or inconsistencies. So you're going to hear from me, but you're also going to hear from some of our great partners around how seriously they're taking building trust into what we do and how we work closely together. And I'm really excited that this time we've also got some feedback from yourselves around what's important. It's always difficult when you're on the stage looking out without making it interactive. So thank you very much for those who participated. So first of all, let me give you some thoughts on what I think about this and some research that Fujitsu has done. You know, everything is becoming more complex, and when I first came into IT was following Moore's law, and it just doesn't get any slower. Everything is going so quickly. And when things go wrong, it becomes so much more personal and serious. And so it's important for us to understand how we can protect ourselves and protect our consumers. Our research identified that nearly 70% of people are worried about what they read online. They're not sure whether to trust it or not. And they're also concerned about whether organizations will misuse their data. And so I think for us, that gives us a really interesting opportunity to prove that we're not building unconscious bias into those technologies. But I reflected on this when I read about Google buying Fitbit this week. The founder of Fitbit felt that he had to restate publicly that trust was central to their mission, and that that would continue as they became a part of Google. It wasn't so long ago that if someone lost my data, all they'd get would be my address. And in fact, if someone really wanted my address, they could get it from the phone book. And so I guess that really dates me. I think now people can get my financial information, they can understand what I like, but they can also see how healthy or unhealthy I am. Becomes a bit more interesting. And so for us as consumers and organizations, I really think it's trust that gives us the resiliency to manage the world in these shifting sands. So I wanted to talk about an example where we've been working with an organization and with our partners to deliver a trusted solution. This week we've announced that we've been working with an organization called Rice Exchange and bringing into production the first ever digital blockchain rice trading platform. It's a $450 billion marketplace, the buying and selling of rice. There are 740 million tons of rice produced each year, and for all of us, it's pretty much our staple food. You wouldn't believe how complex trading of rice is. It's kind of opaque, it's very much paper-based, and there is quite an ecosystem of people that are involved, from suppliers, traders, insurers, regulators. So if there's a way that we can make that more frictionless and give it transparency, we can make a real significant difference to millions of people's lives. So the problem was, how do we do that? One of the solutions was working with one of our trusted partners, Microsoft, for example, and with Rice Exchange. We looked at how we could build the blockchain solution to give transparency and verifiable data available to everybody in their ecosystem all at the same time. Now, it's quite an exciting project. Stephen, the CEO from Rice Exchange, is here and is doing a breakout session this afternoon along with Frederick, who heads up our Blockchain Innovation Center. So I encourage you to go and hear about it. But for me, it was a particularly interesting example because not only is there trust in the ecosystem and the partnerships that we brought together in order to produce the solution, but there's inherent trust in the technology that helps develop it in the blockchain. So for me, it's one example of where together, building strong relationships, we can really make a social and economic difference to the world.
Thank you, Fleur.
Thank you.
Very informative and great start to what's going to be a fantastic session, I'm sure. But before we come to the other people, I would like to quickly pose a question to all of you out there and get you going, get those arm muscles working. Here's your question. If you had to choose, would you prefer to have a single partner that does everything or a network of partners working in an ecosystem? You can see it up on the screen. Raise the green card if it's single partner that does everything, and the red one if you prefer ecosystem of partners. Oh, wow. I don't know if you can see each other's cards there, but there's definitely a lot of red in the room.
That's a relief, really, isn't it, seeing as we're having a whole session on trusted partnerships and ecosystems. But yeah, no, I agree. You know, in this world, I think we definitely need to bring our collective strengths together. Will, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Fleur, thanks for the question. I mean, it's a difficult question. I mean, if you have a single partner that does everything, you can kind of hold them completely to account, which is great. But I think an ecosystem brings a diversity of thought, of opinions, of different voices. And I think that in the complex world we're in now, that's what you really need to have a successful partnership.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd agree.
Now, Will's just about to present Microsoft's view for us on what you believe around trusted ecosystems. But before we do this, we're going to do our first view of what you guys are thinking in the audience.
What does an ecosystem mean to you?
It's an environment where we can co-create together with customers, partners in innovative fashion.
Ecosystem is around a lot of partnerships.
It means a system that integrates many smaller systems to make one unified experience.
It's long-standing relationships, being trustworthy and being reliable.
Like in a family, you know. Many of people that trust each other.
Okay. So today, I'd like to talk about trust. I think Fleur made a great introduction to the topic already. I want to talk about why trust is so important to our ecosystem and why it's important now. And we do kind of take trust a bit for granted. And I think, you know, I trust Fleur, she trusts me, we're on stage here together. And I trust everyone in this audience that actually, you know, you're going to listen to me, and I trust you with, you know, my time and yours. So thank you for that trust. But actually, trust is more complex. I think it has to be earned. And it's based on values if you're a person, and it's based on business strategy, it's based on ethics, and it's based on culture if you're a company. So these are important considerations. So why is trust so important to our industry right now? Well, I think we all know we're in the middle of this huge digital transformation, or also known as the fourth industrial revolution. Whole businesses, whole supply chains, whole ways of work are being completely rewired in all sorts of different and unexpected ways, thanks to advances in AI and in cloud computing. Now, I grew up in the 70s, and actually when I was a kid, my dad had a weekend job fixing video games, which was super cool if you're 10 years old. And it's kind of amazing to think about the journey tech has been on since then, if any of you are kids from the 70s. And actually today, digital transformation is infused with tech. An example is aircraft design using augmented reality, or accessibility for all using gesture control and eye tracking, two great examples of tech that came from gaming. So I guess for me, all that time on Space Invaders was worth it. But something else I'm really passionate about, and I think Fleur touched on this briefly, is the impact on tech on us, the individuals, in terms of our privacy, our security, our identity, and the authenticity of information that we receive. Those are our rights, and they're being challenged in an era of facial recognition, social media, and fake news. So on reflection, I think tech, like me, we've grown up. Our industry has grown up. So no longer do we just write code, build devices, and ship. What we do, our decisions, resonate across all of society. So where is the ecosystem in this mix? Well, delivering a true digital transformation with a sustainable long-term vision needs a solid ecosystem to achieve this. And I think by an ecosystem, we touched on this briefly, we mean something that is more than just the sum of the parts. And for an ecosystem to trust and function, trust is essential. Let's just unpack these comments a little bit. How do we build a trust ecosystem? So I think the first thing you want is a mission and a business model with your partner that's aligned. So the whole ecosystem is looking for partners who have a fundamental alignment between their business strategies. So you can build a strategic partnership, not just a supplier relationship, and you can draw a clear line between your business and your partner's business. And second, and I think probably the most important factor in digital transformation in terms of success, is empathetic cultures foster trust. Digital transformation is about people. Everyone in this room is on that journey. We're on it together. It's about you and me. So we have to be driving a super strong people agenda along with the business agenda to transform digitally. So we want to confront our fixed mindsets, we all have them, reach for our mental and learning agility, and challenge our values of respect, integrity, and accountability. And the same is true of everyone in our partnership as well. So the culture of our companies crosses boundaries into the ecosystem. Driving transformation effectively requires fostering diversity of thought and having the ability to listen. And third, and this is kind of very much the Microsoft point of view, building responsible products. This means having partners you can trust to build according to ethical design principles so that you can safeguard your own ethics in the products and services that you offer. So treating privacy as a fundamental human right, for example, having an end-to-end cybersecurity approach to the ecosystem, and having responsible AI, asking the tough questions, not just what computers can do, but what they should do. So to sum up, oops, I'm gone, there we go. Are we back?
Yeah, it's okay.
There we go. To sum up, thank you for trusting me with your time today. I hope when you think about the ecosystem and our role in delivering on the promise of digital transformation, and when you think about the impact of tech on society, on us as individuals, as colleagues and customers, you'll remember that it's based on trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Alex, you next, but now we have the tradition, we'll run the video first, and then we'll ask you to come up on stage to your presentation.
One thing you would have to name that makes you trust a partner, what would that be?
Quality.
A good relationship, good experiences in recent projects.
To be reliable, to have good solutions, and support our partners and our customers.
It's all the time the people, and the people are these who make a company great.
Thank you very much. So I'm Alex Wallner, running the NetApp EMEA organization, and I want to talk quickly about the topic of trust in combination with digital transformation. I'm, of course, also digitally transforming myself. So I have to tell you a story that happened this morning. I had a video call with my teenage daughter, and the first thing she said, I would never trust a man in a pink tie. So I said, but I want to wear that tie because it always reminds me of Fujitsu. And she said, which was even more mean, she said, then at least close your jacket, which is not so easy these days. So, yeah. If I come across a bit grumpy today because of that, that's the reason. Yeah, indeed, the tie reminds me of Fujitsu, and when we talk about trust, I want to thank Fujitsu for inviting us, and it is a 21-year-old partnership, which is rare in these days, where we talk about new partnerships, new ecosystems. I'm super proud about that. We have thousands, I think over 10,000 of customers jointly together, building innovation and solutions, and also following through the partnership through each other's digital transformation that Fujitsu went through and we went through as a company. And NetApp transformed massively over the last couple of years. We went from being a storage company to become a data management company that end-to-end manages the customer's data process, from collecting the data, transporting the data, storing, helping to analyze and archive the data. So really end-to-end managing. And with all these discussions around data, the question around trust comes with it, because what is happening to the data and who deals with what and everything. So when I talk to customers, usually trust has 4 dimensions. The first one is always the question in our direction: how do you engineer your software? What is the quality process behind it? Where do you store our customer data? And we learn to be super transparent around that and are able to describe that very easily. But I think for a trustful partnership, these very basic questions must be answered. As well as the second one, which is, when I trust a partner, does this partner really have the power to innovate and to anticipate what is going on in the next 3 to 5 years in your requirements, in your challenges that you will be facing as our potential, or hopefully as our customer, and how can we face it together and go against it? So for us, it is very, very important that we are transparent on the innovation power and that we show that we are still, by the heart, a technology company that invests over $1 billion every year in research and development. When we talk about trust, we also talk about, of course, the power of building ecosystems, and you gave a very clear response that you value ecosystems and partnerships. NetApp luckily has partnering in our DNA, and we have, for example, Fujitsu for 21 years, but we have built new partnerships in the speed of light over the last couple of months and years that are very, very meaningful. And one is for sure also the Microsoft Azure partnership that we have that might be very meaningful to a lot of people here in the room. So really not declaring war with everyone out there, but really accepting the landscape of competition and partnering and building ecosystems that you can benefit from is a trust component that is very, very important. And last but not least, it is also the business ethics and work ethics discussion. Because what I see when I talk to a lot of customers is that they tend to consolidate vendors. I think there's zero appetite to deal with as much vendors as possible. So you will automatically lean into the partners that you trust into. And Trust means that you enjoy doing business with these partners, and trust also means that you believe in not a supplier relationship, but in a true partnership. And a true partnership means that we understand your challenges, which usually are that you are transforming as our customer into a technology company more and more. So whatever your core business always was, you transform into a technology company. And what we also have to accept is that 99.9% of the companies here in the room are not Uber, so are not born in the cloud. So a lot of our customers also have a legacy to deal with. And I think you also need to have the trust that we as a partner have the right focus on exactly that legacy environment as well. So for us, it is key in the end that you trust into our end-to-end solution, that you trust into the partnership we have jointly with Fujitsu. I personally trust that you keep on buying our products, which would be very nice. And I think trust is the most important thing in a world that moves in the speed of light. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Alex. I'm going to pause the panel there and get you guys involved once again if you've got your cards handy. We have another question for you. You can see it on the screen there. Would you rather have a partner that challenges you or one that does everything you ask? Challenges or does everything you ask? Please raise your cards. Can see some hesitation going on there, but we do seem to have a majority. People like to be challenged in this day and age, it seems. What do you think, Fleur?
Well, you know, I'm pleased to see that up there. It's a difficult question because sometimes being challenged is quite hard, but I think part of our responsibility is making sure that you can get the best information and the best insight of how to innovate within your business. Jennifer, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I just think the reason we engage with partners is because they're bringing a unique competency and capability to the table, and if you aren't being challenged by them, then you're not going to get to the best solution. It's that diversity of thought and input that was mentioned earlier.
It helps you grow, doesn't it? Individually and in a business too.
Yeah. I'm glad everyone's getting the card thing. It makes our lives a bit easier up here. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant. Well, Jennifer, in time-honored tradition, we're going to now show a video and then get you to come and speak.
Great.
What is the most important thing, if you would have to name one, that a partner can offer to you?
The partner can offer to me loyalty.
It is all about transparency. Trust.
I think it's trust.
To make my business run.
Loyalty and to be honest.
I think innovation.
Thank you for your time this afternoon. I'm really happy to be here. If we could advance one, please. Thank you. We have a long history of collaboration with Fujitsu and bringing solutions to customers like you. Now, Intel is known for our microprocessors, but it would be very hard to deliver those microprocessors to the users in this audience, the customers, without our 50-year history of building ecosystems. It takes a full suite of partners on this stage to unlock the power inside every transistor that we're delivering inside that microprocessor. And together, we're able to apply our technology, our business acumen from across this ecosystem to solve some of society's most complicated challenges. Just to share a few examples, one, looking at weather prediction more efficiently and reliably, we're partnering with NASA. In addition, for that partnership, we're helping to fuel their research for future space exploration. We're partnering with CERN here in EMEA and helping to provide that compute capacity so that they're able to understand the world's smallest particles. And other partners include Siemens Healthineers, where we've partnered with them to deliver faster MRI imaging to deliver a better patient outcome and get to the results even faster, moving from an hour down to a few seconds. Together with our partners, we are entrusted to solve these problems looking after the planet helping to look after the lives of the astronauts and the patients, as well as unlock those keys to the universe that are going to help us forge forward over the next several decades. But there's one piece out of all of those solutions that we deliver where we're co-engineering with the customer, with our partners, that can't be engineered, and that is trust. Trust cannot be created. It has to be earned. And it is earned in every conversation, in every interaction, in every action that you take or don't take. It can be earned and lost, as was mentioned by the other participants. So through building this trusted ecosystem of partners, we're able to integrate the hardware, the software, and deliver synergistic solutions that help meet our end customer needs as they're on their journey of the digital transformation. When I think about the process of building trust, it cuts across the people, the product, and the processes. It starts first with the people, and the relationships are the foundation that trust is built on. It's the relationship between that end user, the ecosystem partner, and even the employees within each of our own organizations. Because when they know that we trust them, they can be unleashed to go solve the customer problems and partner with the end user and the ecosystem towards a mutual goal to solve those common challenges. At Intel, our employees are also, not only utilizing their expertise and experience to solve these global challenges, they're working in their communities to support the local community, as well as going forth and inspiring that next generation of global innovators. The second aspect is trust in the product. So you need to be confident that the product is going to deliver the quality that you need reliably so that it can fuel you have a reliable product with your partner, you know that it's going to meet all the specifications that are required for the solution that you need to deliver. Increasingly, we're presented with new opportunities and challenges to maintain this trust in a data-centric world. Data privacy was talked about. We need to be building hardware and software solutions to maintain that data privacy. We also just need partners like Fujitsu who can help bring together the broad portfolio of assets and deliver innovative solutions like they have at their AI center in France and offering other HPC solutions to help end users unlock and unleash the insights to drive your businesses forward. That requires an obsessive focus on what that customer experience is going to be, and not just at the launch, but throughout the life cycle of the product. And I think that's becoming an increasing focus for Intel, is really looking out over the journey of the life cycle of the product so that that partner can be confident in their deployment of that technology for as long as they need it. So together, we're building these data-centric solutions that are going to fuel the future global economy, the new paths of discovery and insight. The last piece in building that foundation of trust is in the process. So we talked about quality and reliability. Intel's had this multi-decade journey of uninterrupted delivery of microprocessor technology to the world, but we have to continually hone and improve our processes so that we can meet those highest standards of reliability that our customers in this new data-centric world rely on. We think it's not only trust in the product, but it's also trust in the supply chain. And we work very hard to ensure that the components are sourced humanely, responsibly, and transparently, even being honored with an inaugural award called the Compass Award from the Responsible Business Alliance, for our work in ensuring that we're eliminating forced and bonded labor in our technology industry. So we believe that as a company, we need to put forth what we've learned and share it with our ecosystem partners. So today, for both Intel's suppliers as well as the suppliers of our suppliers, we help them to develop corporate responsibility strategies, set a high bar for environmental, social, ethical standards, as well as to set targets and transparently report out on their performance to those targets. We believe that transparency is a critical aspect of trust, as you saw in one of those questions earlier today. So what is the importance of trust in our business at this time, the pace of technology is ever evolving at a more and more rapid pace, and that's going to require us to build more trust in the technology. If we think of something like autonomous driving, the promise is incredible, saving millions of lives as are predicted, being able to offer mobility to everyone. But underneath that, we need to have sustainable solutions that are built on trust. Trust in the people, trust in the product, and in the processes. So together, we all here are stewards of this technology deployment, and together we're delivering these solutions that need to be built on a solid foundation of trust so that the technologies can really have their greatest impact on society. So thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And last but by no means least, Sammy, we're going to get you up to give your view and what's going on in Nutanix. But again, before we do that, we're going to go and see what everybody's been saying outside.
And what do you think can an ecosystem offer to you that an individual partner, one partner cannot?
It's a one-point start.
Well, yeah, of course you can offer full band solutions, not just individual solutions, but a full band solution for the customer as opposed to a technology that they might want to use at some point.
Well, I think it comes then from the multitude of competencies, aspects, perspectives that you can bring from an ecosystem. You know, having an all-encompassing view on what needs to be done.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sammy Zoghlami, and I lead Nutanix in EMEA. So you heard a lot about trust today, and I don't know about you, but this is very reassuring to me to hear this is top of mind on technology companies because of things we hear in the press regularly. Putting trust at the heart of the thinking and the DNA of our companies is very important. I would like to thank our good friends from Fujitsu for giving us the opportunity to be at the keynote panel today. And I would like to share a little bit with you around what we mean to deliver trust to our customers. If we take, the day-to-day life, there's a lot of ways to demonstrate trust to each other. And if you think about, life in the office, for example, being your colleagues, being your partners, especially when you start in a new company, you're going to look for trust, who you can trust within the ecosystem around you. And usually after some time, you're going to start seeing people who are with positive intent towards you. They want to do good for you, to help you become more efficient, more successful. It's not necessarily about themselves, but they genuinely want to make things better for you. And that's how you build trust at work in the office, with partners, in our environment. Now, if you think about friends, this takes it a little bit further, because of course there is a notion of positive intent, but also you're going to test your friendships over time through ups and downs. And at the end of it, your best friends, you would define them as the ones that are truthful, reliable, the one that can be counted on. Okay, that's the biggest characteristic of your best friends. Now, the ultimate level of trust for most people is family, because that's a given for most people that the inner circle of family is a safety area where you can share your doubts, your problems, your situations, and you can trust your family members will work in the best way to make you feel better or improve or being more successful. And those levels you can find also in the business world. And this is what we are looking when we create partnership. And we have great examples of long-lasting partnerships here today, which are built on those notions. And I think in today's world, it's very important to create that ecosystem of trusted vendors around you that can help you deliver the future of your digital agenda. In business, we had, of course, many stories that we heard today about companies breaching the trust element. But the good news, well, on one side, we are in Europe. You can see regulations coming in to protect consumers and companies. But I think the best news is customers and partners have a voice we are in the digital era, and companies cannot really hide anymore from being untrustworthy. They have to do good for companies. They have to have a genuine agenda to deliver better results. They cannot be unreliable. They cannot be not counted on. Otherwise, very quickly on the social medias, you would hear about it. And the brand reputation of companies goes down very quickly. That's how you see small companies getting bigger very quickly in today's world, because when companies are doing good, the word spread out very quickly. But also you see giants going down very quickly, because if they are not genuine in their intent, everyone knows very quickly. And I feel very good working at Nutanix, obviously. We enjoyed a fantastic growth. We were born 10 years ago, and in those 10 years, we went from 0 to almost 15,000 customers. It's a one way to think that we have a positive intent, because more and more customers are betting on us. What we deliver for companies from day one is simplification of infrastructure, streamlining the operations, bringing automation into the data center, and progressively it's developed into building clouds and building hybrid cloud platforms for our customers that are a bit more advanced on those topics. Now, our positive intent is clearly measurable for us. It's something we measure every day at Nutanix. The exec team is measuring this on a daily basis. We have dashboards on that. Is our NPS score, Net Promoter Score. That's a way to understand what our existing customers are saying about us. Would they recommend Nutanix or not? It's a rating that goes between -100 and +100. It's industry standard. You can compare any vendor on that rating. And our score is 90, which is very, very, very high. And it's been above 90 for the last 5 years. And the more we grow, the better we get. Obviously, there's a maximum we can achieve. But that means one thing. You can trust us to put customer success and partner success at the heart of everything we do. That's a proof point. Other proof point, maybe to show that we can be counted on, we can deliver on your budget. IDC is saying that we can reduce the TCO of infrastructure by 60% over 5 years in average versus traditional 3-tier architecture in your data center. So this is a better efficiency for your investments, as well as more comfort for your IT teams. Now, the most important proof point from IDC in that research is we reduce unplanned downtime by 97%. This is about your business running. Most of the projects we do are production environment. We host critical applications. And this is the kind of result we deliver with modern technology. Now, the hidden agenda, in the technology world, of course, you have to do your due diligence to select the best vendor that you trust. But we hear a lot from customers and partners that some vendors, once they are in a situation of monopoly, start to apply some form of lock-in, contractual lock-in, technology lock-in that makes it difficult to migrate out. And in the sense that we really want to stay vulnerable and deliver value to customers and partners, we make everything possible to remove Nutanix easily and to bring freedom of choice to customers. So while we are a software company that delivers hybrid cloud to customers, you can choose the hardware you want, you can choose the hypervisor you want, the automation stack that you want, and the cloud that you want. We will accommodate and integrate into your choices, and that ability to choose gives you bargaining power. Now, to take that notion to the maximum, you can also remove Nutanix in a few clicks. It's not a big migration project to remove Nutanix. It's not an application replatforming project to remove Nutanix, which means the only lock-in you will have by working with us will be the delightful experience. So we bet on your experience, and we measure it obviously through the NPS score to make sure that you're happy day to day and that you bet on us more and more. So in terms of partnership, trusted partnership, we are the last one out of the strategic partners of Fujitsu. So we have many years to prove ourselves. I encourage you to meet the team and meet our existing customers and start the journey with us. And hopefully it's going to be a long-lasting trust between you and us. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Sammy. Now, we do have one last question for all of you before we wrap things up here today. The last two were pretty easy, so this one we thought would make it a little bit more challenging for you. What is more important, a partner to deliver or a partner to be transparent? You can see there, delivers green and red is be transparent. A little bit more of a spread there. What do we have on the panel? Sammy, oh, you got green.
Transparent.
One
like
green,
flipping.
3 red.
I'm like,
we're pretty spread, but I think red is definitely still dominating there. What do you think, Fleur?
I think we finished on again, a deliberately tricky question, I guess, because at the end of the day, we have to do both. We have to deliver and make sure we do a good job for our customers, and we have to deliver as partners. And we need to be transparent so that you understand what's going on. So I guess that's my view. Alex, Sammy, what do you think on this one? I know it's a tricky one to throw back at you.
It is a super tricky one, and I would agree with you. I would prefer a partner who transparently delivers.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But nevertheless, I think in today's world is complex, and we have to accept that projects are complex. Things can fail, things can slow down. So I think transparency, also in the spirit of trust, is absolutely key. Because I think when things go wrong, I think everybody, and especially our customers, need to know it early on.
And Sammy?
Yeah, I agree as well. This is a tricky question. I would put delivery first, because I usually think of partners, if they are transparent but have no solution for me to my problems, then it's not very useful for me. So I would put delivery as first, and hopefully delivery can be also delivery of transparency. That would be fantastic if it happened.
Brilliant, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, very difficult one for you all, but we have to end it all there because we've run out of time for today. Thank you to our panel and to Fleur. Please give them a big round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you to you all as well for contributing to the session, and a huge thank you to anybody who contributed to the questions that were going on out in the forum as well. We do have a session here at 4 p.m. on this stage, specifically for our channel partners, and tomorrow Minute More.
Fascinating, isn't it? We've been talking about the service provider story for the better part of Media Day. This morning there were several segments brilliantly put by everyone that you just heard from. Big thanks from Fujitsu to our wonderful partners, Microsoft, Nutanix, NetApp, and of course Intel. It's always great hearing from executives at those businesses. Hopefully that's given you food for thought around how you create ecosystems and deliver the value from it. And of course a reminder, if there's anything within that keynote that has really piqued your interest and you want to go back and see the brilliance of Fujitsu Forum TV, it's all out there on social. You can go back and watch it to your heart's content. We're going to continue to bring you live and exclusive coverage from Fujitsu Forum 2019. And we're going to continue to bring you key insight to challenges being felt by businesses and government. Next, we're going to turn our attention to citizens and the mission to driving a citizen-centric digital transformation program. Last year, the public sector team brought along representatives from the Estonian government to talk to us about the great job they've done. This year, they've brought along representatives of Finland who have just ranked #1 in a digital survey. We're going to be hearing about how they've managed to do it and what lessons the rest of Europe and beyond can take. Join us for that one. What time are we at? It's 2:54, 6 minutes, not much time at all, just enough time to grab a cuppa. We'll see you at 3 o'clock.